South Africa is now currently on alert level 4 of the lockdown following last night's media briefing. As you now may know, the Delta variant identified in the country is pushing these latest COVID-19 numbers.
Yeah, with that, let's actually give you a snapshot of what the provincial breakdown of these COVID-19 numbers is actually looking like. South Africa, or Gauteng rather, still largely the epicenter of the COVID-19 pandemic. About 620,000 odd confirmed cumulative cases in Gauteng, many of those, of course, coming from yesterday. But this is a figure worth noting. 84,000 of these cases are still active. It's the highest than anywhere else in the country. Following there, 16,000 active cases in the Western Cape, whilst KwaZulu-Natal has about 12,162 active cases. This is the picture, if you like, the backdrop upon which the president made that announcement yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. The test positivity rate is now at almost 27%. It's at 26.9%. 15,036 new cases identified over the past 24 hours. 122 additional deaths also identified. This is the worrying number also we can take from this slide. Of the active cases in the country, almost 160,000 of those are active.
Absolutely. And of course, that's just amongst the considerations to be made by the president when he spoke in that much anticipated address yesterday. What else came out of it? Well, let's hone in on some of these new regulations that you and I have to deal with now. Funerals being restricted now to a maximum of about 50 people. We had always anticipated that the president would be targeting gatherings because we know now that we're dealing with the Delta variant, a lot of what needs to be thought about is ways through which we allow this variant to keep passing on. We'd always heard that it's not the virus that moves, that people who actually move the virus. And that's why also no night visuals or post-funeral gatherings are now permitted under level 4 of the lockdown.
Yeah, I read something interesting actually in terms of how virulent this strain of COVID-19 is. 30 to 60% more infectious than the original strain of COVID-19 when the virus itself is already quite an infectious one.
Precisely. In fact, we had seen some academic journals suggesting that with the Delta variant, which is currently, if you like, driving this third wave of COVID-19 infections, all it takes is seconds of interactions for the virus to pass on. Some perspective, we're initially told that it could take about 5 minutes or so with the strain that was first found in Wuhan, which is obviously where everything started. The country now dealing with the Delta variant, the Beta variant, which is the one first found here in South Africa, as well as variants that are in Brazil and that was detected in Nigeria. Significant for us now is that this Delta variant is not only dominant here, but it's certainly also dominating some other surges across the country, or around the world, rather.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at some of the other measures announced by the president last night as he put the country on alert level 4. That also means the sale of alcohol is with immediate effect prohibited, and that's for both on-site and off-site consumption. This has a major effect on restaurants, on taverns, already the liquor industry, the beer association. They're all sort of up in arms about the fact that the president seemingly took this decision without any consultation with the industry itself.
What's drawing the ire of many, Michelle, is the fact that it's also the 4th time that this happens since we started dealing with the outbreak of COVID-19 in our country. I imagine this being among the most contentious of the issues that have been ventilated, and we'll certainly be hearing a whole lot more from stakeholders in the industry about ways through which they will try to keep afloat as we continue fighting the surge in coronavirus infections.
Yeah, the president's saying that it's all about easing the pressure on hospitals. That's why the decision was taken around alcohol. Some other restrictions for you coming into effect from today, and it lasts for the next 14 days. That's when a review of the lockdown will be taken by the National Coronavirus Command Council. Again, travel into and from Gauteng is permitted only for work, for the transport of goods, for funerals, or to return home. No leisure travel to the province or from the province.
Yeah, question now is, of course, how they'll be able to police that. Policy is one thing, its implementation is another. We'll certainly be unpacking that for you. But also worth noting under level 4 of the lockdown for all parents is that public and private schools set to close early now for this winter break. In fact, starting from this Wednesday, that's the 30th of June, we're told that by Friday, all schools should have managed to close down already. It's important because we had always anticipated that some pupils would be going on the winter break in the weeks to come. The president obviously moving that forward. In the backdrop, teachers being vaccinated at quite a rated rate, I might add, especially in provinces like Limpopo, where we've heard if that province continues at the current rate, they'll be able to actually have vaccinated all their teachers by today. That's some of the commentary that came out from this weekend.
And you know, part of the reasoning behind this decision to close schools early from the president is that this Delta variant is also affecting children.
Right.
Very young children are getting sick from this variant of the virus.
We know, as a matter of fact, that they're definitely carriers of the virus at the very least, and that's enough of a reason for us to ensure that schools don't become gatherings. What else do you need to know from the president's address last night? All retail stores set to remain open. That is incredibly important. It also fits into the discussion around who we consider to be essential workers in our country. It's been a debate that's actually been raging on for quite a few months now. So far, we know that it's teachers, it's been healthcare workers, calls to grow and expand that spectrum, if you like, to include people who work in retail, considering the fact that we couldn't necessarily do without them even during the hard lockdown. Yeah,
absolutely. People who work at your local grocery store, they've been at the front lines of ensuring that we all have what we need throughout the pandemic. The curfew as well, as part of the new restrictions under level 4 of the lockdown, it's now from 9 p.m. in the evening until 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, so that's really just the sum total of some of the issues that might affect you from this Monday morning. As mentioned, 48 hours, certainly a long time in this country. So much has changed. And we'll continue, of course, getting you the reaction to what the president has had to say throughout the rest of the show.